Hey, good morning, everyone. This is a special World Cup edition, box to box. We're joined by FIFA Brit Sam over there. Me and Oaks, as always, are here as well. We're going to do a group by group breakdown, talk about bets that we like within that group, who we like to win the group, if there's any prop bets or futures from that group that we like as well. And like I said, spend about 15 minutes per and hopefully get through every single group with a winner. And then we'll reconvene in about 2 weeks once the group stage is over, see how we did, and predict the final 16 here. So, yeah, bear with us. Feel free to participate, ask us questions in the chat. We're going to be looking here and trying to be as interactive as we can. So we'll just jump right into it. Group A. We've got the Netherlands, Ecuador, Senegal, and Qatar. So this is the opening game will be Ecuador and Qatar. A lot of goofiness has been made about this. You know, these fixed matches stories that are going around, how there's millions and millions of dollars have been paid to these Ecuadorian players. I don't necessarily believe that. I think that's kind of just some fake news that you can ignore, but it's a tough one. This group by itself, the Netherlands are the favorite. They're minus 180. Senegal, you would have been a lot closer, but unfortunately losing Mane was a pretty tough blow for them. Ecuador plus 490 to win the group, and Qatar is 1,700 if you want to back the hosts to win the group. Now, jumping in here, again, tomorrow, the opening match is Qatar versus Ecuador. The hosts are plus 230, the draws plus 200, and Ecuador is plus 135. Then coming on Monday, Senegal and the Netherlands face off, plus 550 for Senegalese team and plus 290 for the draw. Netherlands minus 185. You guys got any bets in these opening fixtures, or who do you think is going to win the group? You think chalk will play out? Oaks, will go to you first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to play this first game. For me, it's less to do with the match fixing rumors and more the fact that it's just not going to be a good game. Qatar is, they're here, they're hosting, so good for them, I guess. Ecuador, I mean, they can play some solid football. The biggest thing to know about Ecuador is like they play in the world's highest altitude stadium. So, I mean, when they play at home, they have a major advantage. I just think that it'll be, in the World Cup, I mean, you can see when they play away from home, they definitely struggle. They'll have endurance. They got a couple of guys on that team. They got, Michael Estrada, who's their leading goal scorer. I think they'll do okay, but mostly, yeah, chalk, Netherlands and Senegal to advance.
Okay. Sam, what do you think? How's this group going to play out?
Honestly, there's really. I was looking through the things that I'm feeling really good about, and it all seems to be stacked towards the later groups. I feel like some of these earlier groups are either going to be either really easy to predict or something ridiculous is going to happen, but I don't feel like putting money on it. The only thing that might potentially tempt me, I haven't locked it in, and it'll probably be a game time decision. But I want to shop around and have a look at the prices on Qatar to advance out of the group stages. I don't feel happy about looking about that because I've been really feeling good about Senegal coming second. But without Mane, I don't know. The host usually finds a way out of the group stages, and I just don't rate Senegal and Ecuador enough to say that, yeah, they're definitely going to come second. And at the end of the day, it'll probably be Senegal. But I feel like you might get, just because Qatar are so far down the list to get out, you might get a nice price on them to get out of the groups, and maybe it's worth considering, but it's not something I'm locking in hardcore right now.
Yeah, so for those odds, the Netherlands to advance from the group, it's almost 10-1. Obviously, yeah. That's not really worth a bet. But
not 10-1.
Yeah,
not 10-1.
Yeah, you're laying 10 to win one. So
Yeah, that one.
yeah, Senegal and Ecuador are about even money, and then Qatar is plus 300. So 3-1 on your money if you want to back the host nation to get out. I think they will draw one game, and I think they may draw this opener. That's kind of the angle I want to play it. I think I want to play a 1-1 in this first game. Just I think they'll get off. If they're going to get anything, it's going to be in this first game against Ecuador, I think. So a 1-1 exacta makes sense. But yeah, there's not a lot of tasty things. I would say the exact order for me would potentially be playing like that all four teams exacted and play the Netherlands, Senegal, Ecuador, and Qatar, and you can get plus 470 for that on FanDuel. I think that's a pretty good bet. All things considered, I think that's how it'll play out. I think Ecuador might be able to grab 2 draws out of this group. I don't see Holland dropping any points. Like I think you could bet them to get 9 points at plus 240. I think they're a clear better team than the other 3, and you always risk that third game if qualification is already secured. You get a heavily rotated side, and a draw might burn you. If you want to play that route, 7 points is plus 230, and then the look ahead line for that match, because they faced Qatar on their last match, so like that even a Holland B team should be able to put Qatar to the sword. So the draw is plus 490 there. You have an easy hedge if you take the 9 points right now, and then you want to hedge out. You got a plus 490 on the draw on the last game. So that's a potential way to secure some profits. I think some of these.
Senegal can easily give these guys problems. They got the Sarr brothers, the Diallo brothers. I mean, Senegal isn't a bad team.
So you want to take a pop at in that fixture there on Monday? Senegal is plus 550. The draw is plus 290. I'm trying to look at the spread here and see.
I mean, yeah, well, here's the thing is like, I'm not going to be able to predict matchups this far out because I have no idea what everyone's lineup's going to look like. I mean, we can make educated guesses, but that doesn't mean people aren't going to, people are coming into this World Cup very banged up. I mean, Diamira, he might not make it through fucking one match. Guys like Lukaku are getting MRIs back in Belgium. He's with the team, but I don't really see him playing unless maybe Belgium make a really deep run. And at that point, adding Lukaku is great, but adding an 80% Lukaku on a team that's got chemistry and is making a run in the World Cup, is that your best decision? So, like,
they may just throw him in there to give a different look. A battering ram if you need a goal.
Yeah,
to harass the tired defenders at the end.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, he's a handful. Even if he's off form, he's tough to deal with. Just his direct and strong running. But yeah, so I think we all are pretty much expecting the Netherlands to come through here. I haven't placed anything, but I'm looking hard at doing that. I think that they will win all 3 matches, and with an easy hedge against Qatar at the end to lock in the profit. I think that will probably be the bet I make is the Netherlands to get 9 points from this group, and try to get if for whatever reason I feel like hedging out off the position. It's hard for me to see this team getting really troubled. If Sane wasn't hurt, like we talked about, Sam, you brought that up as well. It's like they do have a lot of great players still, but he's their most dangerous player. You pluck him off of there.
He's definitely their most dangerous scorer. I mean, right. I think Senegal can park the bus for 90 minutes and try and draw Netherlands. I definitely like a lot of what Netherlands have going on up top with Memphis Depay, especially. But You know, I've watched the Netherlands struggle to score goals.
And
I've also watched them casually drop 6. So
sure,
it really
Yeah.
just kind of depends on what Netherlands team. You know, what time is that game too? Like what
that
time
game
is
will be Monday at 11 Eastern.
okay.
So
So
they
that's the midday game for that. So that's the second of the games. So that'll be the mid slate for
Like
whatever
mid-afternoon.
Qatar time is.
yeah, and so I think Gakpo and Depay and Crew will have enough to trouble them, and I think Van Dijk and Crew at the back, De Ligt, Van Dijk, like they're going to be strong enough. I think they'll keep the clean sheet. I think the Dutch defense is actually going to be one of their strong points. I don't see a lot of attackers that can give them a lot of trouble.
What's up with Wijnaldum? Is he fit? Is he made the roster? No.
I think his knee was it was shot. Let me double
Yeah,
check.
I remember because he was at PSG, got traded, and then I think blew out his knee. So
He went to Roma. He went to Roma.
Roma, yeah, that's right. That's why I
was a
was all
great
hype
signing.
about preseason Roma.
Yeah,
Thank you,
that.
Sam.
It looked great for Roma, and then he got out. I also love how
Yeah.
you pronounce every letter in his name.
Dude, he's a nice little midfielder who definitely has a quality finish too.
No, he really does. I liked him when he was playing for Liverpool. He was always sort of dangerous.
Yeah, so just double checking. Nah, he did not make the squad. But yeah, you've got Gakpo, you've got Depay, Bergwijn, Luke De Jong, Noah Lang. They've got some quality attackers in midfield. Kenneth Taylor, Frankie De Jong, Davy Klaassen, Steven Berghuis, Martin de Roon. In defense, yeah, it's a little old on some spots. Like Dali Blind still made it.
Wow.
But yeah,
How old is he now?
Right. I know he's been around. Feels like he's been around forever. He's 32 though, so in defender years, that's not. You look at Thiago Silva, he's still plugging.
Not bad at all. Yeah,
he might have a couple more years, especially now that he's moved to Dutch football. He could be okay, but yeah, Nathan Ake, Virgil van Dijk, Matthias de Ligt, like it's a pretty strong defense. And I look at the attackers in this group, and I don't really see anybody that's going to give them enough trouble. And going forward, so the Dutch to win, I think, is our play. Did any of you guys wanted to add anything to that? No. Okay. Well, let's move to Group B. And wait, did we say we think the Dutch will win? And who was our picks to be the second team out? Like, I'm
content with Senegal.
Senegal, yeah, me too. Oaks.
Yeah, I think Senegal is the next best team in this group. And then it'll be kind of Ecuador, Qatar, jockeying for position there. I think Ecuador's a decent team. I just don't think they have enough to beat Senegal.
I'm with you. I think that exact order, like I talked about, you can get that on FanDuel. Netherlands, Senegal, Ecuador, Qatar is a
must be nice. I do not think I get that one in New York.
Oh, well, let me know. I'll get down some action for you, Sam. If you want to bet that one, I can.
I get first and second in New York.
There you go.
Hey, that's pretty good.
I think that is pretty good.
Looking at the chat here, I'm just double checking, making sure. No real questions. Yeah. So okay, let's move to Group B. Group B is England, Iran, United States, and Wales. England are a pretty heavy favorite to advance from this group. They are minus 1,100. The USA and Wales are about even money. Depending on what book you're at, it's between like minus 105 and plus 105. And then Iran are the long shot here, plus 270 to make it out of the group. To win the group, England are minus 240, also a pretty big favorite here. USA and Wales are about 5.5, 6 to 1. And then Iran is all the way down at 19 to 1. This group pretty much comes down to the United States versus Wales in this first matchup.
Yep.
It's going to be a fantastic match. Kind of cagey. I kind of expect a draw out of that. But we'll see. England even if they have all the points secured going into their third match against Wales, the England B team is still stronger than any of the other three teams in this group. I'm pretty confident England will take all the points, especially if Wales and the U.S. draw in this, which could potentially set up a point where Wales could be good with this. If the U.S. don't get a result against Iran after they draw with, or if they don't beat Iran, then Wales could already be through and all set. So it's interesting. It really does come down to that U.S. Wales match. U.S. is plus 150. The draw is plus 190. Wales are plus 220. Do you guys have any bets so far, Oaks?
No, I mean, as a fan, I'm gonna cheer for the U.S. This is kind of their whole tournament: beat Wales or you're fucked. So do it.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Like, I mean, Wales. I didn't think they'd make Qatar, to be honest with you. Ukraine played much better than them when they played Ukraine in that elimination match. The goalie stood on his fucking head. He made like 8 incredible saves. I think it was their backup keeper too. Dude had the sickest day ever. And what it came down to was Gary B hit a sick free kick that came off of Yarmolenko and went in for an own goal. Ukraine dominated that game. Wales keeper just stood on his fucking head. And you know, Wales, I'm not going to say is a slouch team. Gary B clearly gets up for big fucking games like this. That's just what he does. And if you remember back to Euros a couple of years ago, that's what he did for them in Euros too. So, I mean, this Wales team, when the pressure's on, they play very well. So, I definitely don't expect a walk in the park for the USA. And you know, I've made it known for the last couple of weeks I have some problems with this USA roster and lineup. So it'll be interesting to see. I hope we can get a win. Pulisic's gonna have to play really good. If they choose to play Jesus Ferreira at striker, he's gonna have a career fucking game. You know, Weston McKennie is going to have to hold down a lot of space and be very, very good in the midfield here. So, you know, Aronson, I think, is playing really well. I think he's excelled at Leeds. I think he's only gotten better since I've seen him play for the national team. So I definitely like pieces of this team. It's just, can we fit it all together for 90 minutes and win this fucking match?
Yeah. Sam, what do you think?
You're not going to like me for this, but I do not see a world where America's coming out of this group. I'm sorry. There's just, I feel like Wales are being so disrespected by, I think even the prices, but I think even being disrespected by the books. Like,
I don't disagree with you. I think the price on Wales is very nice.
I think England to come first and Wales to come second is something like plus 240 or something like that. Yeah. And America's favorited to come second, only slightly, but like they are. And I don't see how that can be the case. I guess it's because Wales scraped through their qualification with that game against Ukraine. But this is a Wales team that went to the semifinals of the Euros, you know, like 5 or 6 years ago. And yeah, that's a long time in international football. But, you know, Wales are so good. Bale has just spent the past few months arguably not really doing much and then rocking up and winning the whole thing.
No, he's been scouting. That's what he's done. Like, I said that when he got traded to the MLS, is that was part of his plan, was to come here and scout all the talent for USA, see how they play, get in Greg Berhalter's head a little bit. I mean, listen, I've said a lot of mean shit about Gary B. That was a genius fucking move by him.
Yeah. He's just been chilling in LA, having a lovely time playing for them, coming off the bench and scoring a couple of very important goals.
He played like fucking 4 matches for them.
Yeah, exactly. But he's just been watching all the Americans, getting all this practice against the Americans, watching them, playing against them. I agree with you. I said that when he came. I said he's scouting out for the World Cup because the one thing he cares about right now is Wales.
Yep.
And I really
LA
think he's going
golf
to
scene's
step it
not
up.
bad either.
Yeah, I just think he's going to step it up. And then I held out just a little bit of hope that maybe the American squad, because I want America to do well. Like, I'm not rooting against America. I would prefer, when it comes to my list of allegiances, I would rather have America come out than Wales. I have no allegiance to Wales, but like, I just don't see it. And then and then they put out that squad, and there are some really painful omissions from that US squad that are really annoying me. And I don't know.
Leaving Ricardo Pepe off is the biggest mistake I've
It's ridiculous.
seen somebody make.
Yeah, like I think what you said about the American team, I think sums it up. I think there are pieces there, but I don't think they're a squad yet. And hopefully by 2026, when you've really got all the eyes of the world on you, hopefully
and we have a new manager.
Yeah, you would hope so. But I think then that'll be good. I think this will be some good tournament experience for some of the younger guys. If you can get out of the groups, great. I don't see it happening, but you got some younger guys like I think Ferrara. I think Jesus Ferrara is a lot younger than I think he is. He's like 21 or something like that. How young is he? He's young, right? He's because didn't he just win like Young Player of the MLS? Like I think he won that award or something like that. Either that or I totally made that up.
Yeah,
but
I think with this,
Jesus Ferreira is 21. Yeah,
that's
21.
crazy. That's crazy.
This, but you brought up a good point where this is more of about gaining experience and building a foundation for the next tournament. This team.
No, that was Gold Cup. That's what they should have done with the Gold Cup, and then been ready for this tournament.
I think realistically, this team is a tournament away. The core of the team is all 24 or younger, and usually a team that wins it is closer to that 28 kind of range. So if this young core can kind of grow together and we grab a few other players and sprinkle it in, I think the US team, this is a tournament that is ahead of schedule. So if we do get out of the group, great. If we don't, as long as we don't embarrass ourselves and get 0 points, like lose to Iran and stuff like that, I think it would be deemed a success. Yeah, Berhalter, I'm not sure will be around next time, but
shouldn't be.
I think this is it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. Like he righted the wrongs of the previous regime, got us back qualified, and has brought in and helped develop the next thing. But I think somebody can come in and take them to that next level. I think the omissions of certain players is due to, I think we're going to play a false nine. I think we're gonna try to play Pulisic as a false nine, or maybe a Gio Reyna as a false nine, and
that scares the shit out of me. Gio Reyna's bones are made of fucking glass.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a guy who can hold his own in the Bundesliga and create and score goals. So I think we're going to be playing without the ball a lot, especially against England. Wales, we may have, it should be about 50-50. Iran, I think we will have the ball, but it's tough. Like when you're a team that, this goes for all the CONCACAF teams. It's like when you play the small countries that have very small populations, you're going to be a ball dominant side, and you got to take the game to your opponent. And then you get into these world tournaments where you're playing European teams and South American teams, where you're going to have 35% of the ball, and you just got to defend and counter. It's really, really hard to try to mesh those two different styles. So like qualifying can be one style of play, while when you get to the tournament, it's a completely other. And I just not
really
sure.
Well, if your players are used to that and you've done it before. My problem is the USA, they're not playing to their strengths. They're coming into this game, they're coming into this World Cup to not get embarrassed, and they're not coming in to attack and win. And that's what bugs me. They're not playing to their strengths. They're not playing the style of football that got them here. And I always think that is a massive, massive mistake.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's something that concerns me about England as well, but that's a topic for later, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's topic for now. So like my pick, I think England will make the final. Based on
so bold. I wish I
Yeah.
had your confidence.
Yeah, it's a pretty bold thing. I think England cruised this group, and so they're Group A and Group B. The way it plays out, so Group A winner will play the runner-up in the next round, and the Group B winner will play the runner-up from Group A. So if we think it's Senegal or Holland and Senegal, and then in the Group B it'll be England and either Wales or US. I think that exacta, like Sam touched on, if you think it's Wales, bet England 1, Wales 2. If you think it's US, bet England 1, US 2. Those are over. They're both over 2-1 to your money. It's much better price than to pick that team to advance from the group. Neither one's going to beat England. At least I don't think. Maybe it's possible, but
I mean,
trying to find the value.
I watched Hungary skull fuck England. I watched,
the Nations League, though. I mean, it's
getting relegated out of Group A, fucking embarrassing, England.
Yeah, but
it is pretty embarrassing.
That whole tournament is embarrassing. Like, that's just an exaggerated friendly tournament, and it's just a chance to try out new players and things.
But he didn't. But he didn't.
Right.
And he still lost.
So my thought is tournament tested. I'm happy to back England. I like their route. We'll get to it later on, but I think they have a path to the final. Looks like France might be their quarterfinal opponent.
Yeah, France in the quarters, if that's how it runs.
Yeah, if it plays out that way, I think Pogba and Conte are a big miss out of that World Cup winning team. That's the heart of that team, the engine that propelled them to success, and how France kind of shake things out at the back and up top is going to be a little bit of. Anyway, we'll see. We'll get to France and stuff, but I like Harry Kane to be the Golden Boot winner in this tournament. He's the favorite. This group is very soft for him. And England, no matter how they set up, should be able to comfortably put a couple goals in against any of these teams. So with Kane taking the penalties, as long as he wants to stay on the field, he has a chance to become the England all-time leading goal scorer. I believe he needs 3 to overtake and become the all-time leader. So there's a narrative there. He's clinical from the spot, has a soft group. I know taking the favorite's not always the best look, but I do think England get at least 5 matches out of this tournament, and that's why I like Kane to be the Golden Boot winner. It is tough to back that. I can get behind taking a longer shot with somebody else who may make a dark horse run. I just think Kane's consistency, and there's nobody really challenging him for that number 9 shirt. I mean, Wilson kind of behind him as a change of pace kind of guy. I'm comfortable making that bet. And like I said, I do think England, they will make the final. I know you just said you didn't have as much optimism, Sam, from the English team. I think your skepticism is just natural. I mean, it's just kind of part of your
I've been
DNA.
burned before.
Yeah. So normally I wouldn't say this, but I just think, with France being the defending champ, like the defending champ never retains. They will stumble at some point. I think that's going to be the waterline for them. But any other parting words for Group B before we move on?
I just want to just chat real quick. So when I said Bale only played like 4 games, he came in as a sub. He wasn't match fit. His fitness was really bad when he left, or not really bad. I mean, he's a fucking pro athlete, but by soccer standards, he wasn't fit enough to play. But he did transfer over in the summer from Madrid. So he had been traveling with LA. He'd been on the bench. He saw all these games from the sidelines. Stood next to his manager, probably had input on what was going on the field. So yeah, he's been over here in the US since July. So that's how he scouted. He was part of the team, part of team meetings. There's guys from LAFC on Team USA. Obviously with the World Cup coming up, it's a huge topic and conversation for these guys. So that's how Gary B did his scouting.
speaking of him, I guess last thing we talk about. So in that U.S. and Wales match, a lot of books are doing promotions, risk-free same game parlays, things like that. Obviously, we don't have lineups yet, and I'm sure we'll all have something for them. But let's talk about goal scorers just for a second, then we can bounce on. So Bale is plus 220 on FanDuel to score in the U.S. match. Pulisic is plus 350.
Yeah.
Trying to look at some other odds of potential goal scorers. I mean, we don't know who's going to play up top for the U.S., but
Daniel James is always worth a look for Wales.
Dan James is plus 480. Brendan Aronson plus 470.
Nice prices though.
Yeah, Gio Reyna plus 550. McKinney 8-1. I could see
That's a fun one.
Yeah, potentially. The defenders, I'm
I
not
would
sure. Again,
probably play McKinney shots on target. If his
I was
goal's
gonna
8
say
to
McKinney
1, you're
shots
gonna
on
get
target.
like plus 650 or it's not 650, 160 to like 200 for a shot on target.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll be interested to see how Berhalter sets his team out. There's a lot of lineup questions. Who is his first 11? You know, we don't know who's going to be the center half pairing. We don't know who the number 9 is going to be. So yeah, a lot of questions on this U.S. team that we have to kind of wait for lineups on. I never thought I'd say this. I kind of hope he goes Tim Ream and Anthony Robinson as kind of the left side of defense because they have so much chemistry playing week in and week out for Fulham. I don't know if Tim Ream's the best option, but I like that there's that familiarity there. And then on the other side, do you guys think Zimmerman will be the choice, or do you think like Carter Vickers will be that right side center half?
It'll be Zimmerman. I mean,
Yeah.
It's been Zimmerman for a minute.
Yeah. And then, so I guess the right back option probably goes to Dest, but
Is he fit?
That's the only thing I'm wondering. Is I guess it could be DeAndre Yedlin, maybe a Shaq Moore as well. I don't know. We'll have to see. But let's move on. Group B was always going to probably be the one we talked about the most with England and US in there. So yeah, Group C. This one is Argentina's group and Mexico's group. They're joined by Poland and Saudi Arabia. So this one is an interesting group where I think there's 3 teams that could come out of this legitimately.
Yep.
You know, looking at the winner, Argentina is the big favorite, minus 280. For them to advance from the group, minus 2,000. So Argentina are almost a guarantee to go through. There are a lot of people's picks to win the World Cup this year. They have an extremely strong team.
No.
They are one of the deserved favorites. The Mexican team to win the group is plus 550. To advance is minus 115. Poland, the Fighting Lewandowskis are plus 550, and they are minus 115 to advance. And then the Saudis are
their favorite goal scorer is no goal scorer.
Yeah, plus 3,800 for them to win the group, and then to qualify plus 700. So the Saudis kind of are the punching bags in this group, but you know they'll try their best to make things difficult. And but yeah, if you don't get your 3 points there, you could pretty much assume you're not going to make it through. So yeah, let's talk a minute about Argentina. I know they're a popular choice. This is probably Leo Messi's last major tournament. There's strength from front to back on this team. There's a lot to like. Oaks, you want to get us started talking about some Argentina?
Sure. I'm not going to talk about stuff people like. Messi, I mean, he's Messi. He's very good. He's old as shit. He's 34. Their keeper is 35. Di Mira is 33, very banged up. Lautaro Martinez is a great player. He's, I like him a lot for Inter when he's healthy. That said, dude's knees are made of fucking glass. He blows a knee regularly. The average age on this Argentinian team is north of 27. I would say 27 is probably the median age. The guys that you're really, really counting on to take you far in this tournament are all above 27. This team's old. They have a lot of miles on their legs. I think they're good. I don't think they have the legs to finish out this tournament and win. You know, there's definitely things to like about Argentina. I don't see them not advancing from groups. I just don't think that they're going to have the legs and endurance to take this all the way to the finals and win the finals.
Okay. Sam, do you have any takes on the Argentinian team, or maybe you want to talk about the Mexican team or anything like that?
Well, I'm still riding. I got Argentina to win like a few months ago when they were like 10 to 1. I thought that was a nice price on them. I'm fine taking that then because I still think they are a very quality squad. However, as we've got closer and suddenly everyone's jumping on the Messi bandwagon, I think it's down to like 5 to 1 now. That's not very fun for me. I don't really want to take them there now that they're like suddenly second or third favorite. It doesn't really entice me anymore. Still think they're going to get out of the groups. They should top this group pretty easily. I think, like Group B, what's going to be interesting about this one is who comes second, Mexico or Poland. And I'll be honest, again, I think it's Poland. I haven't seen much from Mexico. I mean, they somehow, I do think
they barely made it in. They barely made it into this tournament.
Exactly.
Mexico's had problems for a minute.
Yeah. I think that Poland's success really sort of hinges on Lewandowski turning up. So he needs to start banging in, getting some World Cup goals. But if he starts firing in all cylinders, that's Poland's second place basically locked in. And who they got? Who's the guy from Napoli? Is it Zielinski or someone like that? He's Polish, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's really good. I never know if
is on the team. I think Buska made the team too.
He did. I think he, for some reason, I think he's hurt. I don't know why. I haven't seen him playing in France for a hot minute, so I feel like he might be a little hurt.
I don't watch a lot of Nate's football, but yeah, Buska, if he plays, he's very dangerous. He's got 5 goals for Poland in 6 appearances. He's a quality player. If you guys followed along with me and Sam, and sometimes Matkafee, we really liked him when he played for the Revolution, New England Revolution in MLS. Guy's quality.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is going to be Argentina first, Poland second, unless Mexico really suddenly decides to turn up and Lozano brings his shooting boots.
That's really the only way it's going to happen is Chucky Lozano is going to have to put on his Superman cape because Jimenez has been fucking Casper the Friendly Ghost over there at Wolves.
I don't know if he'll even start. Raul's he's good, obviously, very good player, but that hasn't quite been the same since the head injury. And I do like what you mentioned, Sam, about like Lewandowski just gives you that clinical. He's one chance, one goal kind of a guy, which will matter in this kind of tournament where chances will be harder to come by, and teams will be aware of that. So, I mean, they may opt to, double mark Lewandowski and kind of dare one of these other guys to be great. And
if they start him up top with Milik, Milik off the bench for Juventus has been pretty good recently.
Pretty good.
I like him. He just he'll rock up and if it's just loose in the box, he'll slot that in the bottom corner. I think he's really solid as well.
Yeah. It's tough. I think this is it'll again kind of same as the Wales U.S. match. It comes down to this Mexico Poland match to kind of decide who's going to be that number 2 team to advance. I think L3 will get through. I think they are stronger front to back outside of Lewandowski. I just think that there's, especially in the heat, a team like Mexico and Argentina have a little more advantage. And I think even with the cooling breaks that we're going to have, I think just having players that are more used to and more acclimated to hot weather, I think will help. I think they'll just be that much more fit in the second half. That's
I think that
a
really only
smidge of
comes
my
down to
handicapping. It's not a major factor, 5% or so, but I think that could be just enough to give them the edge. And I'm looking at the Mexican team. Yeah, it's not quite as good as years past, but I think up top, with like we mentioned with like Lozano, Martin, Vega, and Jimenez, they got some goals in that team. Midfield, I mean, Alvarez and Herrera will be, called on. Guardado still going strong, 36
Wow.
years old. Their defense is not too bad either. We'll see.
yeah, they
Jimenez, right?
haven't been playing like it.
Memo stands on his head in the World Cup. Like, he's just a big
Facts.
gamekeeper, and I think that the Polish guys, as much as I like the former Arsenal keepers, Szczesny and
Love
Fabianski,
Szczesny.
is that like I think Memo just has that big game experience where I think the other guys might have a blunder in them. I think Mexico have the best keeper in the whole group, so that's why I like them to kind of go through. But just it may not matter. Lewandowski may just power them through. So, and it could come down to goal differential too. I mean, if this is a draw, it's whoever beats Saudi Arabia
Yeah.
or doesn't get turned over by Argentina. Like, that's the other thing. So the way this match, the schedule is important to look at too. So Mexico gets Saudi as their last game. That's why I think Mexico has that smidge of an advantage too.
Right, because they can try and run it up. My problem is Mexico, even if they're playing a bad team, run it up your ceiling might be 3 goals there.
Right, but Poland have to play Argentina in their last game, so Poland will know. It'll be all in front of them.
I would expect Diamira, if Argentina knows they're going through, Diamira will sit.
The problem is the guys right behind, like Messi and Martinez, are like Paul Diabla and stuff like that. Like,
is Diabla fit?
He's going. So
in theory,
yeah, is he fit though?
Hey, who knows? But if he's not, then you got Angel Carrera, Julian Alvarez from Man City. You've got let's see who else. Oh, God, they brought Gomez to the World Cup. That's pretty wild. I forgot they brought Gomez, but I mean, they just have enough attacking talent to give them some trouble. And we'll see. I think it'll be how it all plays out. But Argentina may want that game to top the group. So,
oh yeah, they definitely want to top the group. That's for sure.
Topping the group's always important, so a draw could be there. We'll see. Let's pop over to Group D. This group is France's group. It's France, Denmark, Australia, and Tunisia. This one looks pretty straightforward on paper. You kind of think France and Denmark will cruise through. The odds do reflect that. France are a -180 favorite to win the group. To qualify, -1350. The Danes are +210 to win the group, and -430 to qualify. Australia +2700 to win the group and +300 to advance, and Tunisia are +2400 to win the group and +360 to advance. If you want to play France, Denmark to get through, in that order, it's -105.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Pretty gross. If you want to just take the two of them to get through without the order, it's -290. Gross, but a parlay piece potentially. If you want to grab like some of these other things, it's a nice thing to pair with it, because I do think that they are probably, barring a very, very surprising result somewhere, they're the clear-cut favorites. Now, France, we hinted at it a little bit. Some question marks on how they're going to set up in the midfield. Benzema's fitness is a question mark. Varane's fitness is a question mark.
Benzema's been talking mad shit, just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
Benz is pissed, and he's been talking mad shit. So
yeah, I think if he's ready to go, I think they'll get him ready, and may not play him in the first match, but maybe that second match or even the third. we'll see. I mean, his fitness. Madrid have been great with it too. They're not overworking him right now.
Don Carlo is one of the best managers in football.
They knew what was up. You know,
he's also a player's manager. He gives so much more of a shit about his players that, you know, he fights with the front office of clubs all the time. You know, he's one of those guys who really kind of stands up for his players,
Sure.
and has the locker room there. You know, I'm a big fan,
Yep.
clearly with the fucking Madrid flag. But yeah, I mean, France, they're very, very fucking good. Like, let's not get twisted here. They definitely have injuries. Pogba being out is a major blow. Having Rabiot,
Pogba and Conte are two of the first names on the sheet. Like, if they're healthy, they're boom, they're in there. And so you're looking at their midfield options: Tukameni, Guendouzi, Rabiot, Camavinga. Like, it's not a tested midfield here at the World Cup level. Like, this is not a team that's been that has a lot of international tournament experience. So now up top, there's a ton. You've got Griezmann, Giroud, Benzema. Well, less so Benzema because he's been kind of frozen out. But
he's got plenty of other international experience winning UCLs.
Exactly, and defense as well. You know, Lloris is back. He's been a little shaky with Fulham, but you know, he's got or not with Fulham, with Spurs, and
equally shit.
But yeah, I love it, Sam. But yeah, I don't know why I said Fulham, but I think because Areola was, I read his name, then I know he was at Fulham. But anyway, yeah, looking at their defense, I mean, Varane, he's struggling for some fitness, but this is going to be a potential question marks here. You know, Upamecano is a potential starter. Is Saliba going to start? Like, his form, there's an argument that he should start here. He's been, I think, the best defender in the Premier League this year. But he's got a lot of experience. Pavard is there. Theo Hernandez is there. Lucas Hernandez. Like, this is a lot of question marks on how they're going to line this thing up at the back. But they are favorites for a reason. There's every player that's in this team is a really, really great player. It's hard to see them not having enough to win the group, but I kind of think the Danes might be a sneaky little upset pick here to potentially win this group. But what do you guys think? Are you got any bets so far? Any futures from this group?
I don't know what the over-unders set on Australia's goals, but they have their leading goal scorer to be no goal scorer. I would look at what the over-under on Australia's goals is, because they're gonna get at least 2. I think they score against Tunisia for sure. I think they can score against France and they can score against Denmark. Jamie McLaren for Australia is a really quality player. Yes, he does play over in Australian A-League. I'd bet him every single time he steps on the pitch, because he's a great bet and he gets buckets. Australia have some nice pieces to their team. Not enough that I think they upset Denmark, but they're a nice little team. Denmark has a lot of quality players that I like a lot. You know, obviously the story with Denmark is always, from now on, probably going to be the Eriksson story until he retires. I'll be looking at Eriksson props. I'll be looking at Demsgaard props. Demsgaard played phenomenal in Euros. He had an absolutely sick free kick curler. You know, Odegaard.
He's Norwegian.
He's Norwegian.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. But yeah, I mean, Denmark have a bunch of nice pieces. They're a quality team. You know, Kasper Schmeichel in net for them. You know, he obviously left Leicester. I don't particularly know how he's been doing in the French league, but he is a very good, he's a quality keeper. You know, Josef Poulsen on that team is definitely somebody to take note of. You know, Denmark's a quality side. I definitely think they finish, second. Can they challenge for top of the group? Sure. I think it'll take a pretty mighty effort to overtake France, though.
Yep. Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, so here, I got a couple of fun ones. This is when it starts getting into some interesting ones. This back half of the groups is where I liked a lot of stuff. I think a lot of these teams where their top ranked goal scorer odds wise is no goal scorer. I think there's value in trying to pick a guy to be their top scorer because and here's the thing, I think it's actually better if they get knocked out. Like for example, Australia,
Oh,
Jamie
for sure.
Jamie McLaren, who we love to be the Australian top scorer, is plus 650. Now, say they get knocked out, say they get 3 goals. If two of those are McLaren's, great. Like all it takes is a couple of goals, and
it might only take one. It might only take one goal.
Yeah.
You win, you beat Tunisia 1-0, and it's a Jamie McLaren goal, and you get shut out against France and Denmark. Bang, that cashes. And also worth noting, I think dead heat rules apply for these top scorer bets on FanDuel.
Okay, so if you take the goal scorer, you might get a push and money back.
Exactly. So I think it's very interesting, especially on those countries that you expect to get knocked out. Because say, you kind of say, yeah, there's a finite number of goals. Say they score 2 goals. Say they score 3 goals if you're lucky. All it takes is 1 or 2 of those to be the guy that you pick. And you have you've got a chance at a push, or if you get lucky, you've got a chance at a win. And I'll take Jamie McLaren at plus 650 to be the Australian leading goal scorer. If he steps up like he does in the A-League and he is that guy, like sort of channel you're in a Tim Cahill and you rock up and score a nice goal and maybe you scrape a second goal.
Chris Wood's the other. No, Chris Wood's New Zealand. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in those type of markets, like with these teams that we expect maybe to score 1 or 2 goals, I like that thought, but I also like the idea of grabbing like a center half who could potentially score from a set piece, and you get like 2 or 3 times the value. Like you said, it may only take 1 goal, and so McLaren plus 650, good look. And I mean, you would have to kind of look down the odds here, and I'm not exactly sure how Australia will set up. But you may be able to hit something that's double digits or hot. We're getting into the 14.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you want to play that route, you could look at Moy. I see, because Moy loves banging a goal from 30 yards.
Sure, yeah, he's 11 to 1. Yeah, and he's been finding some form with Celtic. So yeah, and he'll probably take some set pieces for them as well.
I think it's a fun angle. I think it's a fun angle to look at those countries you think are going to get knocked out, because if you just get, I think if you get lucky and the goals fall your way, especially with a very finite number of goals that you think they're going to score, they get knocked out. That bet cashes really easily and really quickly. It's not going to be like, looking ahead. Like I've got some team top goal scorers for other ones for countries that might go very far, and you kind of have to sweat it out and hope that other guys don't score. You target those guys that you think are going to get knocked out in the groups. That's a really quick, that one's over in a couple of weeks, and you can, you're not really going to sweat it out. I think the other angle that I'm looking at is really sort of buying into the hype on Benzema. Again, really hoping he's fit, really hoping he's starting, really hoping he's banging in these goals. Another market that I love is this player to score X amount of goals in the entire World Cup campaign. I think it's a really fun prop. All you really have to bank on is them starting, but you don't have to worry about, you do have to worry about lineups, but you can place that bet. And as long as that team stays in the tournament for long enough, you have until they get knocked out for that bet to hit.
And 2.5.
Benzema to score 3 goals is plus 165. I can see him scoring 3 goals. I could see him scoring 2 in one game. He could,
I could see him scoring 3 headers against Tunisia.
Exactly. I just think, it may be, maybe it's something that you think about with certain players. Maybe there's more value in picking your spot and picking the right game to take them to score a goal in the game. But for some of these ones where you've got the benefit of the whole tournament, say France go to the quarterfinals, I'm not even, say it goes that path and you get England and France in the quarterfinals. I'm not sure we can beat France, but even if we do beat France and we get that far, that's 5 games you've got France to score 3 goals. And, in the group that they're in, where you can really, potentially really beat up on Tunisia and Australia,
Right.
he could get 3 goals in the group stages if they, if he's playing and he's on fire. I don't know if Griezmann starts. I don't know if he starts if he's still on penalties. I know he was taking penalties in the last World Cup. But if Griezmann's not on the field, I'm guessing Benz takes a penalty over Mbappe, because I don't think Mbappe's particularly good at penalties. So, again, I think Benz to score 3 goals at plus 165, a nice little straight that you can easily cash in the group stages if you get lucky.
Yeah. France's best penalty taker might be Hernandez, from Milan. Theo Hernandez is deadly from the spot. So, that's where I think it kind of runs into some trouble. It's France their group is so good, or it's so weak. I don't know why I say good, and their team is so good that they may see a lot of rotation. There may be a lot of that. And when you look at their the way it's going to shake out, so hold on, let me pull their group up again real quick.
Sure.
Put it this way: if
Benzema
go ahead, 3 goals, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, I really like that market. I like the idea. I would not take anybody over 3.5. Even a Harry Kane, even if you're getting plus money on it, at that point, just take him for Golden Boot, because 4 goals puts you within striking distance of the Golden Boot. Your average Golden Boot winner, 6 goals. 6 goals is the target for a Golden Boot winner in this tournament. That's just how hard it is to score. You'll get guys with 6 goals that I don't know if you'll get a guy that doesn't make it out, a team that doesn't make it out of groups to have the Golden Boot, but you could get a team that doesn't make it past, the round of 16 with a Golden Boot winner.
So the way these fixtures play out, France and Denmark are in the middle. If France gets that win, they've locked up top, and I think you'll see a heavy rotated French team. You'll see Giroud start. You'll see, it'll be wholesale changes for this team in that third group stage match. So,
only if they play well. See, the other thing I think with France is, if they continue to struggle and squeak out games by 1 goal, they're probably going to want to keep these, it'll be a rust versus rust thing. They tried a lot of new formations in the UEFA Nations League. They've been kind of trying out different stuff with their teams. So, finding their right form of play, their match fit, and putting everybody together, I think will be important for France. Just getting these guys minutes. This is a really short turnaround for these guys. Travel, they get 2, 3, 4 training sessions before they gotta go compete for the World Cup. And team chemistry is a big thing. You're playing with a lot of guys who play in all across Europe at different levels, and that's why you see especially early on, some people's touches are a little off. Sometimes it takes more than 90 minutes of the first game for these guys to all kind of mesh together and start playing their best football.
Yeah, well, we got to wait to see. So I would say, before locking in any Benzema bets, make sure he's fit, and if he's ready to go for the first match, then I think you can fire on him, because he will start. And then Mbappe will start on the left, and probably Dembele on the right, I would guess. But I guess there could be maybe only 2 forwards, and he plays an extra midfielder, and so you kind of have that 2 striker formation, which they used so well. They kind of played that 4-4-1-1 last time out. And
the Griezmann and Giroud combo was so
exactly
good.
The classic big man, little man. So I mean, we'll see. But I just, looking at this team, I'm not sure. There is a lot of really good wing players. Coman, Dembele, so I think that, and Mbappe as well. You want that pace out there. If I'm Deschamps, I want these guys running at the back lines of Denmark and Australia and Tunisia. I like my chances. So
also, I'm gonna.
Please.
It's all lineups dependent, but whatever. If we get a nice price on Rabiot shot on target, I'm taking that too.
Oh,
Like,
for sure. He's been on fire lately for you, man.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think we
So
got some nice prices there too.
you guys like that look of France 1, Denmark 2,
Yeah,
even money? Yeah, I think that's probably a good bet out of this group. And
I think it's gross getting negative odds on a first place, second place thing, but I also don't really see any other. I'd rather just use France and Denmark to go through as a parlay piece with who else I think is going out of the group.
Yeah.
But playing for first and second when Denmark might maybe squeak it out, there's just I mean, that's what I think is going to happen. Whether I bet it is a different matter. Just I think on matter of principle, negative odds on a first place, second place, I just not for me.
All right.
Ericsson to be top scorer for Denmark might be a good look too.
Yeah,
that could be fun.
We did just get joined by JD.
Whoa.
JD, can you hear us, brother?
Yeah, I can. Sorry, I'm gonna be just a fly on the wall. I'll jump in here and there. You guys did the preparation. I still haven't finalized my my pick, so that's gonna be coming out shortly. But I'm just gonna chime in when you guys have a point that I want to like touch on or anything.
Okay,
so
cool. Did you want to
mind
add
me.
anything to Group D?
Not right now.
Okay.
I'll probably add some stuff later on, but I'll be that creep in the corner just staring at you guys right now. So, so you guys go ahead. Don't mind me.
Man.
Sounds good. Well, let's bounce over to Group E here. Now
this one's a pretty cool group in my opinion because I fucking hate this Spain team.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a tough one to call because you've got Germany, Spain, Costa Rica, and Japan. Now, the German team and the Spanish team are in a bit of transition right now. You usually can't get them to win a World Cup with double-digit odds, but you can right now on both of these teams. You know, it's something that you may get some value if you want to be ahead of the curve here. If you're willing to take a chance on one of these teams to exceed expectations. But yeah, like I said, they're both in kind of transition right now. Both looking to the next generation to build towards the next World Cup, where they'll be more apt to contend deep into the tournament. But in terms of the group stage, I think everybody is on the pair of them to advance. Kind of like the last.
I'm not.
No,
I don't think Spain gets out of groups.
Spicy. There's a hell of a tease.
I don't think Spain gets out of groups.
Yeah, Spain and Germany are minus 390 to get out of the group together. So that's a massive. You have to lay $4 to win one if you think these two nations will get out of the group. Now, if you want to flip vice versa, Spain, Germany, it's plus 145. Germany, Spain, it's plus 170. But yeah, these teams are about equal when it comes to winning the group. Spain being a slight favorite here over Germany to win the group. But both are massive, massive favorites. If you want to pick Japan or Costa Rica to get out of the group, you can get 3-1 on your money on Japan or 11-1 on your money on Costa Rica, who were a bit of a darling. They kind of made that Cinderella run. I'm not sure they have that again in them, but I'm eager to hear what you got to say. I want to kick it right to you, Oaks. So you're going against the chalk. What do you got?
Yeah, I think Germany's ready to compete this year. I definitely sprinkled Germany to win the World Cup.
Like
you
10
give
to
me
1
Germany at like 12 to 14 to 16 to 1. I'm gonna fucking take it. Germany, realistically, they could start 7 fucking Byron players, and Byron is one of the best teams on the fucking planet. You know, they got Sane, they got Kimmich, they got Goretzka, they got Rudiger, they got Gnabry. You know, I think Kai Havertz is in not his best form. I'm splitting a unit on Gnabry and Sane. Shout out to Sam for mentioning that on 2 Foot Talk on Wednesday. Plus 650 for Gnabry or for Gnabry or Sane to be the top goal scorer for Germany. That's fucking outrageous in my opinion. If you've watched Sane play, you know he's that dude. I don't want to say lost his spot, but he didn't start for the first couple of games in Bayern. When he got his first start, I told everybody, I'm like, this is Sane's spot. He's going to come out, he's going to score a goal, and he's never going to leave that spot or leave the pitch again. And he did it in 4 fucking minutes. That's how good
I remember that day.
this man is. Gnabry, has been banged up. You know, he's been playing with his hand and his arm wrapped from an injury. He scored a fucking hat trick the other day. Since he's been starting for Byron, I think he's got, what, 5 goals? He got one against Shackle, I believe. And so, yeah, he's got 4 or 5 goals in 2 starts for Byron. I mean, this man is a fucking menace. Also, shout out to him taking the braids out and rocking the fro. Great hair, easy to identify on the pitch. You definitely know when he scores a goal or gets an assist. He's super easy to see. I love dudes with unique and dope hair like that, or dudes who dye their hair. So you're like, you know, especially when I watch like King Yosef for Atlanta, I'm like, oh yeah, the dude with the pink hair scored. That's definitely King Yosef. So yeah, you know, I think this German team's fucking awesome, man. Like Kimmich is one of my favorite players. He's so important to a team. And I guess, yeah, you're probably sick of hearing me hype up Germany. I think they win this group. I think the team Spain brought here isn't good. You know, I rag on Morata all the time. I think Japan's a really nice little dark horse here, who can definitely hurt people. You know, you got what's his name? I'm gonna butcher it.
Minamino.
Minamino, yeah, thank you. From if he's fit, I know he got a big deal leaving Liverpool to go over to France. Had some injuries. I think he's playing for Monaco. And he played really well at the start of the season. I kind of lost track of him. You know, you got a lot of quality over here in Japan that I would be nervous about, because Spain do not play interesting football. They don't score goals, and they're going to try and defend for 90 minutes, and I just don't think they have it in them.
So you like Germany 1 and Japan 2? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. You can bet that exact. I try to eliminate risk, even though Germany feels like a lock to me. I would just put money on Japan to advance, because you never know. I mean, if Japan gets hot and scores 6-8 buckets and they're tied on points, they might, you know, go ahead on goal differential. You know, if they play tough and draw Spain and Germany, then you know I'm not big on the exactas. Just take.
Do you like them to qualify at plus 300?
Yeah,
that's nice.
I would play that more than I'd go into an exacta. Eliminate your risk. Put 3-1 is a good enough price. Take one result for your money.
Can I talk in plus 750 for Germany and Japan to get through? Not in order, but just to get through.
Sure, I definitely like that. You know, like I said, I personally don't like Spain. I don't think this is a good team. I don't think they have. I don't like the manager. I don't like the style of play they play. That said, I'm biased, and Spain is clearly ranked number 1 in this group for a reason. So I wouldn't count them out. You know, Spain could. You know, it could be Spain and Japan. I personally don't see it, but yeah, I mean, at plus 750, sprinkle that. But I would do like, you know, 3/4 of a unit on just Japan to advance, and then put 1/4 of a unit on that, because as we all know, anything can happen in soccer. I'm a big fan of one bet, one result.
Okay, fair enough. Sam, what do you think? Straightforward. I think it's chalk. I think Spain and Germany get through, but what about you?
I'm not really gonna touch much on who necessarily comes out of this group. I like the angle on Japan to qualify. I do think it'll probably end up being Germany and Spain, but I really don't have confidence in picking an order, and I don't even have confidence in laying that bet straight. So I'm just really not going to touch that. If you were tired of Oaks gassing up Germany, unlucky, because I'm about to do the exact same thing.
Again, German squad's nasty, dude.
Yeah, German squad's nasty, and some of the odds that we get are fantastic as well. Again, Germany to win the World Cup, even now, it might have dropped a little bit. It's still like 10-1. You might even get it better on other books, but 10-1 again, I think that's totally great. looking, and I love Gnabry. I was gassing up Gnabry on 2 Foot Talk like the entire time. Gnabry to score 2 goals in this entire World Cup campaign is plus 120. Yes, please.
Yup.
Like, I'll take that. Him to get 2 goals, I think he could do it in a single game.
He could do it in the
Gnabry
first half of a game.
Yeah, Gnabry, because and Werner not coming to the World Cup, I think, was massive because he was going to start at striker. Now they've got basically just a ton of wingers. They have so many wingers, and one of them will probably end up playing striker because I don't think they're going to start Fulkrug, who I think is the only actual striker they've brought. So it'll be like Gnabry might play striker, but even if he plays right wing, I'm still happy with him scoring goals because he loves it. Gnabry to be German's top scorer, plus 650. Love it.
Yep.
Think that's great. Gnabry to be the golden boot scorer because there's always a German near the top. If they don't win it, even if Germany don't win the whole tournament, there's usually a German around there somewhere. Gnabry to get golden boot, 44-45 to 1. Yes, please. I'll take that. I can easily see him running up, 4 or 5 goals, and that might be enough. I just think they're a really strong squad. And then the same deal that I have with Rabiot, I'm going to look at Kimmich shots on target because he loves to get forward and rip, assist as well. He loves to take a rip from the edge of the box. If he'll take a shot from 30 yards out. That's a shot on target right there. Usually it's getting more juiced now when he plays for Bayern, but just the way that I think the World Cup markets have looked, I think we might get plus money on Kimmich to get 1 shot on target if we're lucky. If it's plus money, I'm definitely taking that. Exact same deal I have with Rabiot, just those center mids that love to push forward. It's one of those, let's look at the price at the game time and wait for starting lineups, but he loves to rip shots, and he might even get a goal if you can get him at 8 to 1, 10 to 1 to score a goal. I might toss a couple of dollars on that too.
I think it'll be fascinating, the German side, what Hansi Flick decides. Like, who is his 11? And like you mentioned, the recognized striker in the squad, Fulkrug, is probably not going to start. Like,
no.
So is it Kai Havertz? Is it Gnabry? Is it, Moukoko maybe? Like, I mean, does he go with a 17-year-old to lead the line? Like, that would be
that would be fucking awesome. I would
love
to
it.
see it.
Or maybe Mueller as a false 9, kind of a,
I've seen that out there, and I don't dislike it because Mueller is a fucking big time gamer. He gets a lot more credit for his assists and his distribution, and absolutely rightfully so. Especially when he was playing with Lewandowski. You watch him in the UCL, dude hits bangers.
Yeah.
It's tough. Like I think the guaranteed starters, obviously Goretzka and Kimmich, you're not breaking up that midfield
never. That midfield there, they're too good.
Right, but in everything in front of them is a question mark. Like I think that Sane will play and start, and then after that, is Gnabry a starter? I think so. I don't know. Is Mueller a starter? I think so, but I don't know. And
Musiala could push for that spot if he's good.
Musiala, right? Could it be Musiala? Could it be Moukoko? Could it be Jonas Hoffman, who's been in great form?
I think Musiala has a much better, much better argument. I think Musiala is a more World Cup ready player than Moukoko. I love Moukoko. Agreed. I love his talent. I love what I think he can do and where he can go. That said, he's still 17. I know Musiala is not that much older, but he is a starter for Bayern and has big game experience.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you can roll back the clock and play Mario Götze as the false 9 like they did 10 years ago. Or 12 years ago, whatever it was now.
My guess for this lineup, if they play with the 2 wingers and attacking mid and a striker, my guess is Havertz probably gets the nod at striker. You probably see Sane on the left. You probably see Gnabry on the right, and then Muller or Musiala will take that attacking mid spot. That's what I'm guessing. I think you'll see. I hope Moukoko comes off the bench. I don't want it to be a situation like when England brought Walcott when he was like 16, 17 years old and he didn't touch the field once. I think Moukoko's a lot better than Walcott was at that age, even though the English media might say otherwise. I think I'd love to see Moukoko off the bench. If he comes off the bench and, if it's matchup, the matchup dependent, maybe look to take him live. But again, he's 17 years old. But when it comes to the actual starting lineup, my guess would be Havertz, probably still Muller just because he's still great. But I'd love to see Musiala come on, and then Sane and Gnabry on the wings. I think is pretty solid to bank on.
Yeah, interesting one. Spain and Germany, they play each other in that second fixture. So how that shakes out will probably dictate a lot when it comes to how this group plays out. JD, did you want to add anything in this one?
Yeah, I just think that I'm on Germany. I think they're going to win the group, but we also can't discount that. And I think it was late in 2020 when Spain crushed Germany 6-0. I know like some of the lineups have changed, but you just can't throw that result out of the window. I know it's UEFA Nations, so I think that needs to be considered when you're looking at this. So I don't think, I think that match needs to be looked at more closely. But I do think that Germany's chemistry with just mainly their midfield and their forwards, mainly the chemistry is already there. They're all primarily Bayern. You have Gundogan kicking the PKs, who's solid. I just think Germany has too much quality up front. Their back line is probably their biggest weakness, obviously. But I do think that we do have to take into account that Spain did crush them in that UEFA Nations game. So I still like Germany to win, and then Spain runner up.
Yeah, I think I like that too. I think that's my I like that exacta. That exact, if you want to bet it, is plus 170 on.
Yeah,
so.
And I think just Musiala's form right now. I don't know how he doesn't get in the starting lineup. Like he's so much quality right now, assisting, scoring. So I just think that he's got to be starting. I would start him. So
I hope so.
He gets to start.
I think a lot of times for World Cups, you see them lean on the guys with the international experience, and a lot of the older guys are expected to lead the younger guys. I'm not sure if he gets in right away, but if he comes off the bench in an early game and really shows it up, then maybe you see him. I'm gonna guess they're gonna lean on Müller as just someone who's been around that team for well over a decade.
Yeah,
I love Musiala as a player. I love him. He's the future of that squad for sure.
I think it'll come down to does he play Mueller as the advanced number 9, and then Musiala behind as the 10. If he opts for Havertz as the 9, I think Mueller gets the nod at the 10, and Musiala more of a sub.
Agreed.
But yeah, good problems to have, right?
Yeah, I just want to just chat real quick.
Yep.
Number 1, thanks for the sub. Number 2, all our picks or any picks we put money on will be posted. We're obviously going to talk about things. I haven't locked in all my bets yet. I have, a couple articles coming out. So yeah, anything that I end up putting my money on, I will definitely post about. One of the things I like about doing these streams with these guys is we get an opportunity to talk through some things, find different angles, and make additions, or I think it just helps to listen to guys talk about different angles to help you create your own plays if that's something you're looking for.
Yep. And then obviously it's always important how that 1-2 kind of shakes out for seeding, because we're Group E here. The runner-up in this group is likely, and we'll move to. They play Group G, right? I have that correct. Is it?
Would it not be F? I haven't got.
Hold on, let me double check.
I was just running a bracket.
Yep. Let me pull up my bracket just to make sure. Let's see, World Cup bracket. Because then we'll go talk to Group F next, but I just want to make sure.
Nice Canada train time.
Yep. Let's see. There we go. This is the one I wanted. I had the bracket and then I accidentally closed it up. Okay. Backing this up slightly. I'm trying to do multiple screens here. Forgive me, gentlemen. Let's just move to Group F. We'll keep the combo rolling, and then we'll talk about the knockouts and stuff when appropriate. But so yeah, Group F. This is Belgium, Croatia, Canada, and Morocco. Now, the Belgians are big favorites to win this group. They are minus 120. Croatia is plus 210. Morocco is third with plus 950, and Canada is expected to be, and that's harsh on Canada, but they are fourth favorites to win the group at plus 1100. Not a kind draw to Canada. To qualify, Belgium minus 550, pretty chalky. Croatia minus 270. That's pretty heavy. The finalists last time out. Morocco, you can get 2-1 on your money, and Canada plus 280 to advance. I suspect Belgium win the group. I think it's somewhat open for this second place. I think that's where the drama lies. I haven't locked anything in, but I am open to hear arguments for any of these countries. Let's start with you, Sam. I saw you raise your hand. What do you like in Group F?
I know Oaks is already on this because he put it in his channel, and it was the first thing that I looked at when I was looking at these odds. Canada to qualify at plus 280. They are so disrespected. It's unbelievable. Now, I don't know how this group's going to shake out. I think it's probably Belgium who goes through, but I think Belgium or Croatia is going to choke here. Like, one of them's definitely going to choke, and Canada's going to sneak into second place. I just, the fact that they're fourth favorite, the fact that Tunisia is expected by the books to qualify ahead of Canada, I think Morocco, is crazy. Yes. That is true, right? Oh, what did
Morocco,
I say?
Morocco, but yes,
Morocco.
You accidentally said Tunisia.
Sorry, yeah, Morocco. They have similar flags, I think. But yeah, I think I think it's crazy. I love Canada. I think Canada to qualify is a great bet. I know I'm on the same page as Oaks there, and. If we're looking at these World Cup specials for the players who score goals, Jonathan David to score 1 goal at the entire World Cup is even money. Yes. Yes, please. Done. That's basically what I love about this group. I don't really want to play the game as to who's going to come first, who's going to come second, because I am not sold either way on, like, Belgium could either just rock up and win every game. Sure, like they could. They are that good in theory. But they're banged up. They could easily choke. I think Croatia's really old. So I'm not confident about which one of them's going to choke, but I'm pretty confident that one of them is. So that's where I'm at with that.
I think it's going to be Croatia. I love Modric. I mean, don't get me wrong. The guy's a fucking legend. He's one of the best footballers we'll see in our lifetimes. I mean, he's that fucking good.
Ballon d'Or winner, Modric.
What's up?
Ballon d'Or winner, Modric.
Yeah. He's old, and he really gives a shit about Croatia. Problem is, everybody else on this team is fucking old too.
Yep.
And they don't score goals efficiently or often. In a tournament where goals are at a huge premium, really tough, to grind out 1-0 wins and draws against this Canada team who I'm sorry to say, guys, Canada's the best fucking CONCACAF team out there. They're CONCACAF's best shot at winning a World Cup. It's not the US. Canada is stacked. They got Jonathan David. They got Alphonso Davies. They got what's his name? Lornette? Or no, not Lornette. Give me a second. Clyde Laren, Tejan Buchanan. I mean, this team has a ton of firepower. They play pretty good defense. A ton of European talent. Canada's good. I have them. I took them to advance out of groups at plus 280. I'm probably gonna sprinkle on them at 200-1 to win the World Cup. That's a bet you can probably hedge out of at some point. I don't know if they have the legs to win the World Cup, but I mean, if they play well, I could see them making it to 8s or 4s easily. This Canada team is just flat out good. And like Sam said, Jonathan David to score more than one goal, that's an obnoxious price. Laren to score more than one goal, that's probably an obnoxious price. I gotta assume David's the favorite, but even if he's not, Alphonso Davies is a fucking monster. He will score and distribute the ball. There's a little bit of a worry, or I don't want to say worry. It'll be interesting to see if Canada gets a PK, who takes it for them. Because I've seen Davies take them, I've seen Jonathan David take them, Laren might take them. This Canada team is just flat out good. This is going to be the most interesting group because don't sleep on Morocco. They're a good team too. They have plenty of talent. This is going to be, for me, the most interesting group. As I said before, I don't see Lukaku playing a lot of minutes here. I just don't think he's fit. I don't think he's match fit. I don't think he's ready to play. If they do play him, it'll be interesting. I took Bats to be the top scorer. Battiari for Fibonacci over in, he plays in Turkey in the Super League over there. Bats had himself a great group stages, or not group stages, whatever, UEFA National League. He scored 3 goals. Bats is clinical finisher. He's way faster than Lukaku. He's not the physical presence. He's not going to score the headers. He's clinical in front of net. KDB is the guy there too. Without Lukaku, I think it's Bats or KDB. I got like plus 450, plus 500 on Bats to be top goal scorer for Belgium.
Nice.
I think that's a nice look. I think if Belgium have success, it'll be with KDB setting him up and him finishing well. If Belgium struggle, I could see KDB being the top goal scorer because he does finish very well. But yeah, I mean, this Belgium team, they can score goals. They give them up though, and that's a problem in the World Cup. And yeah, I mean, I think overall that Belgium is a pretty sound team and should win this group. But I really like what Canada's got going on. And I don't think that I don't think Croatia's got the legs. I think their window was last World Cup, and it sucked to see them lose. But I just don't see them repeating that run.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I think the chalk advance here. I think Croatia's midfield with Brozovic and Kovacic and Modric is good enough to get them through. I think they'll control enough. I think Perisic will play a little more advanced. I think they'll have just enough experience and know-how to pip Morocco and Canada here. I like what you guys said, but I'm going to back the team that's been there and did a deep run. They have the know-how. They'll see games out. Belgium, I mean, yeah, the goal scoring, like where are they going to come from? Looking at their team, I mean, Hazard could show up here and have a great World Cup. Well, who knows? We'll see. Lukaku's his fitness is questionable. Batshuayi, of course, he could start. They may. I mean, there's so many goals from midfield too, with Tielemans and De Bruyne and stuff. Like Onana from Everton, kind of as the holding midfielder. I like that a lot. Yeah, they should win every match in this group. I think. I think Belgium. And Courtois in net, like, yeah, he's back there. Even if there's old defenders like Vertonghen and Adderveld in front of him, I think he's hopefully he hasn't shown the best form as of late, I guess, but I think he could round up here. And he's let up a couple questionable goals for Real here in the last couple matches, but I still think they're the clear favorite. I think they'll win all their matches, and Croatia will just tip them. But I like the value to take a stab on Canada or something like that. I mean, I'm not going to bet it personally, but I'm not going to fault you guys for giving it a look. JD, do you have any looks in this Group F before we move on?
Yeah, this is probably one of the groups that I'd probably stay away from putting too many units on. But I do think that there's going to be a lot of value for the precise goal assist to goal scorer markets. I like what Oaks was saying about like KDB finding Mitchie or KDB. If Lukaku ends up being fit, like maybe like not the first game, but maybe the second or third game, I'm gonna do some combos with KDB to Lukaku. I'm gonna do some Tielemans to score outside the box. I'll be like doing some of those weird markets for that. Not but like they have some compelling arguments on Canada. I do like the Jonathan David to score. I think that's an amazing price, plus 100 to score one goal in the cup. That's a no brainer for me. I'm definitely doing that. I like that.
Right. He's getting guaranteed 3 matches.
What
Yeah,
about
I know. And you're right. I'm looking at the thing. They do rotate between David and Laren for the penalties, and most of the sites that I'm looking at to see who's taking the penalties are split down the middle for that. So you're right, Oaks. It's going to be sort of dealer's choice at the time if they do get a PK. But I would assume that David would take the first few. But I love that price. I do love that price. But this is the least confident group I have. You guys make compelling arguments though about Canada. Croatia's midfield and their their breadth of knowledge in these games, you just can't discount that either. So if I had to make the guess, it would be Belgium, Croatia, exacta. And that's all I would have to say for this group.
I got a sneaky one for you guys, and then we can move on. I just want to get
Go
your
ahead.
reaction. So everybody's favorite Champions League long shot goal scorer, Miroslav Orsic. He is not guaranteed to be a starter necessarily, but he is 29-1 to be Croatia's top scorer in this tournament. And I thought that was a pretty crazy long shot here. Again, I don't know if he'll be the starter, but Croatia don't score 2, 3, 4 goals per match. They're more of a one goal, grind it out, get you out of there type of a team. And I thought, wow, 29.
Who's the favorite on that? Who's the favorite?
The favorite
on that
is
one,
Kramaric from Hoffenheim, and then Perisic is behind him at plus 6.
Kramaric, right?
Yeah,
Kramaric, because he's taking the PKs, right? Yep, that's right.
Yeah,
so
he's old as hell.
Is he? Is he taking
That's what I have.
PKs?
I mean,
Modric.
it could be Modric. Modric,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
grabbed
gonna
the
say
ball
Modric is probably the PK taker for Croatia.
if Modric wants it, it's his. Like that's for sure. So it's tough to say. And yeah, who knows? But I just thought 29-1 was an interesting flyer for him. He
especially if he plays, even if he plays as a super sub. I mean, that's a great price because
he's going to do it. He's going to have to score against Canada or Morocco probably, but yeah, we'll see. Let's move on so we don't run too far out of time here because I know we want to try to keep this around 2 hours. We may run a little long today, but Group G, fun group, Brazil, Serbia, Cameroon, and Switzerland. So this is probably the toughest group, I think, to find the second place team out of, for me anyway. I know USA Wales was right there, and we've talked about some other ones. But for me, I think this is really, really a toss-up. I could see either of the 3 teams, and the odds kind of reflect that. Cameroon is the longer shot to qualify, plus 380, but Serbia and Switzerland are about even money. Switzerland's a small favorite over Serbia to qualify. Brazil, obviously, a massive favorite for the group and to qualify. Brazil's my pick to win the entire tournament. I think they just have hit this perfect time where their squad is ready to roll. Front to back, I think they have the most talented team. I like their path to the final. I don't love their price necessarily. I know you would have grabbed it a couple months ago. You could have got 5-1, and now it's kind of dropping down to the 350 range. But I think they're clear favorites for a reason. But yeah, picking this second place team, I'm fascinated. Oaks, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be another really tough group. Obviously, I'm going to back Brazil to come out of here. Brazil's a great team. They have the legs to win the whole thing. I think Serbia is a very good team. They have a ton of talent. I mean, you got Milinka Savic over there, Tardik, Vahulovic, Miritic. Serbia is a good team who can go out and score goals. Dustan's fitness is probably a little bit questionable. I know he's been sitting recently for Juve. We'll see what comes of that. I think Cameroon's a very competitive team. They play good defense. They have a lot of nice little pieces. We got our boy Chupo from Byron over there, who's very capable, as we all know. You know, Cameroon is going to be a tough out. Switzerland, they play good football. They play very interesting brand of football that I enjoy watching. They definitely have some players. Shaqiri made it, right? He's on the team.
There's no way they didn't bring him.
Right, yeah. So I mean, Shaqiri's a fucking legend. I mean, if you ever seen the guy play, he's very good. He went to MLS, played for the Chicago Fire this year. Dude, the
Did
guy's
he?
fucking...
I didn't see him.
I mean, yeah, he banged in some fucking nice ones. Like, I mean, dude, the Fire suck. But I mean, take one look at the guy. His thighs are as big as fucking tree trunks. Dude is fit and can certainly ball. He's very aggressive too, which I love. Dude's not afraid to make hard tackles, not afraid to get booked. Will jaw. I think this is a great group. I think we're going to see a lot of really high quality football coming out of this group and the one we just talked about.
Sam, what do you think, man? Who's going to be joining Brazil in the knockout stages?
I am pretty set on Serbia.
Yeah.
I think I think it's going to be a really competitive group. I think Brazil will probably walk away with the 9 points, and it's going to be left to these other three teams to battle it out between them. And you could see a team snag second on maybe 3 points, probably 4 points would do it. I think it's going to be really, really interesting. But I just really like Serbia. There aren't too many players on the other countries that are really impressing me. I like Mbolo for Switzerland. If we get a nice price on him to score, I think he's really exciting, and he probably starts. I think he probably starts at striker for them. He's been doing really well in the Bundesliga.
Him or Okafor.
Yeah, we know that we like Okafor. We like Okafor a lot.
Team Oaks, shout out 77.
Absolutely. But I'm pretty solid on Serbia. I think you can get a nice price on Brazil to come first and Serbia to come second. I think it's like plus 240 or 250, somewhere in that region. I'm pretty set on that. Again, I want to see if Vlahovic is going to be fit. I don't really know where he's at fitness wise, but I just think they're a really good squad. I think they can grind out, a couple of nice 1-0, 2-0 wins. I love Milinkovic Savic. I think he's great. Look to him for an assist as well. I'm pretty sold on their squad. I think they'll go through second and get absolutely whacked out the first round in the round of 16. But I love them to go through.
Yeah. Just to answer Ryan real quick. Sam is on Gnabry for Golden Boot, Germany's top scorer. Musiala, we're not sure where his spot's going to be in the lineup yet. So it'll be interesting to see just how Germany play on that, Ryan.
Yeah, for me, I mean, JD, I want to kick it to you, man. Do you have any looks in this group before I?
Yeah, I think for me, I think the most telling thing about this Brazil team is that people like players like Bobby Firmino didn't make the team. Like, that's how much quality is in this team. So I just think that this is just going to be a cakewalk for them. They're just gonna go through. And actually, I was looking through the lines. I'm surprised. I don't know if Oaks mentioned this yet, but I mean, Vinny Jr. Golden Boot getting set up from Neymar. I mean, that price might be. I have to look at the best price for it, but the Vinny Jr.'s form right now, I think that might be, if I split a unit across a few guys for Golden Boot, I think he deserves a look. I know Neymar's taking the kicks from the spot, but Oaks probably will not disagree with that pick there. So I'm curious to see what Oaks thinks about Vinny Jr. for Golden Boot.
I mean, yeah, I love Vinny for Golden Boot. I don't want to say my problem with Brazil is it'll just be interesting how the manager handles this front three that have 6 world-class players that can all put the ball in the back of the net there. I really don't know how you don't play Vinny. He might be the fastest man alive. He's got great vision. He's dominant on the ball. He finishes really well when he gets the opportunities, and he is always looking to make the extra pass too. So he's one of those guys that, obviously I'm a little biased. I love him because of Madrid, but I mean, Vinny has been on my radar for 2-3 years now. He's an elite player that I would have no problem putting a sprinkle on him for Golden Boot at all.
Yeah, it's
Sounds
tough.
good. And then just
go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say my runner up would be Switzerland. I just looked through the games, watched some replays, and I just think Switzerland is my runner up there. I have to check the odds on that, but I like Switzerland.
Yeah, the Brazil front line is I think Vinny Jr. and Neymar are locked in, and I think it's between Richarlison and Jesus, who's going to be the striker.
I think Antony needs to be in that conversation too.
I don't think Anthony. I think he's clearly in a backup in this team. I think Rodrigo and Anthony and Rafinha are probably that second line. I think it just depends on what he wants from this. I watched all of Brazil's tune-up games, and Richarlison was in good form for them. Jesus just gives you something different. His technique and his pressing is unique. He's not been in great goal scoring form, so I would pick Richarlison to start from the beginning of this. And he's the same price as Vinny Jr. So for Golden Boot, I think we talked about Neymar potentially. He will take the penalties. He will take the free kicks. It's easy to like him. I think Brazil will win the tournament. So I just think that the goals could be shared a little bit. I think Neymar is a great look to win the golden ball for this tournament. I think this is his tournament to really step up. And like JD kind of alluded to, he may be assisting some of these goals as well as scoring them. So if he sets up 2 or 3 goals and scores, 3 himself, he's a great look for the golden ball, which is the player of the tournament. Different market. And I think Golden Glove, Allison is the favorite. And this Brazil might not get scored on this whole tournament. Like, I'm that confident in this team. They're that good. The midfield is experienced and sound. The defense is the same. I mean, Thiago Silva, it's 38 years old. I said when we were talking about France that Saliba might be the defender of the year in the Premier. I think actually Thiago Silva is the defender of the year. He is so good, and without him, Chelsea would be so lost. Him just organizing it. They've got a lot of good other players around him. Militao, of course, and Marquinhos, and they're just so loaded front to back. Like JD said, cakewalk, and I'm not sure anybody. I wonder if I could find a market for total goals scored or total goals allowed. Like, because I would probably take the under here. Because like I said, this team is just, there is zero weaknesses in it. Tough one here. And I know you said Switzerland you like to get out. You guys are both on Serbia, right?
Yeah, I think Serbia is probably the second best team here. Switzerland, they're very good. This might come down to goal differential. Cameroon's very good too. I wouldn't count them out. I think this group.
I kind of want to take Cameroon too. Like, Zambo Anguissa in midfield, and like we mentioned, they've got Choupo-Moting up top. Like, this is not the best Cameroonian team. We've seen better ones, 20 years ago, but I think the Swiss are stable but unexciting. Serbia's got that firepower up top, but I think they're pretty suspect in defense and in goal. So I kind of want to take a stab on Cameroon here to get runners up. I'm not there just yet, but Brazil first, Cameroon second at 6-1 as an exacta. I kind of want to talk myself into making this bet, but
I can't believe we forgot to talk about Gabriel Jesus too.
We did.
Yeah,
Oh, we did. Okay, sorry, I must have missed it.
I mean, Jesus, I don't know if he starts. Like, I think if he was in better goal scoring form, I think he's a guaranteed starter ahead of Richarlison. But I think right now, because he hasn't scored in such a long stretch, even though he's done a lot of great pressing and a lot of great, he has more touches in the box at this point in the season than Alex Lacazette had in all of last season. Like, I mean, it's great. It's like a third of the season. His close control. He's a better player than Richarlison, but Richarlison might be more effective for what they need because they already have a lot of guys that want the ball in their feet, like Neymar and Vinny Jr. and stuff. So another guy that's going to hold the ball and take somebody on, I think you want a more direct player, and I think that Richarlison gives you a little more height and a little more directness than Jesus, and so that's why I think he'll be the guy to be the number 9 for this Brazil team. But I who knows? Well, we shall see. I mean, they have the luxury of changing things up. I mean, whoever they throw out there, it's a great team. Like you mentioned, Anthony, really good player. Like would start for any of these other clubs or any of these other countries. But I don't know where
absolutely.
he gets. You know what I mean? Like their squad is ridiculous.
Yeah, Brazil's backup squad could make the round of 16.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Gabri Martinelli, Arsenal player, I'd love to see him get some minutes. I don't know. He may get a run out in match day, the third group game, just to kind of give him some minutes. But yeah, it's Rodrigo might not see the pitch. They brought Pedro from Flamengo, the young, he's another way. But I just don't see them. Rafinha, another good player. It's crazy. And then the midfield, Casemiro, Fabinho, and Bruno, like. You got other options with like Fred is there as well, and like, yeah, it's loaded team.
If I had a card market, I'd be taking Richarlison and Casemiro for a yellow card if they start. Richarlison's one of those guys who could get a yellow card in the first 5 or 10 minutes because he will just bowl someone over because he came in late.
Ooh. And you're right. Cards could be flying in this first match. Brazil versus Serbia.
Oh my God.
Mitrovic getting some, throwing himself around up top. And then, Neymar, of course, bitching and moaning to the ref. He's always good for a dissent card. But, yeah, let's leave Group G there for now. Let's pop over to the last group here, Group H. Uruguay, South Korea, Portugal, and Ghana. This one's a toss-up group. Like, I don't think you could be confident in – I know Portugal is probably on paper the best team, but Uruguay could just as easily be made for that argument, I think. They're a very, very experienced and strong team as well. It's tough. I think those are the two teams that get through in this group. I'm not sure exactly what order. Portugal's massive favorite to go through at -700, slight favorite to win the group at -140. Uruguay right behind them to win the group +200. I think that's a decent stab if you want to take a shot on them. To qualify, though, -270. Ghana to win the group, 11-1. And to qualify, +250. South Korea, 12-1 to win the group and +270 to qualify. South Korea, of course, sweating the fitness here of Hyungmin Min and or Hyungmin Son, excuse me. And his facial fracture, is he going to be able to go? Ghana, probably a weaker team than they've had recently. I'll kick it over to you, Sam. What do you think, man? How's this group going to shake out?
I'm going to come back to my favorite little prop of a play to score a number of goals. Darwin Núñez to score 2 goals is +120. Yes, please. Thank you very much. I'm pretty sure Oaks has a little flyer on him to be the Golden Boot winner from like months ago. I think we mentioned that on the first futures stream that we did, like before the season's even started.
Yeah,
but
I
yeah,
took that back in June, late June.
yeah, that's a good one. I think he's gonna be starting at striker. I don't know what's going on with Suarez. I think Suarez he's still playing for them. They're probably gonna play with both of them. I guess they have Cavani as well. Or is Suarez done? He is going, right?
No,
Yeah,
Suarez is going. He had to he's playing in Uruguay now. He's back to playing in Uruguay. For I think that was probably just a tune-up for this World Cup, keep him in match fitness. He has played well down there. Obviously, the level of competition's a lot lower than he's used to. Guy's 38 years old. This is 100% his last World Cup, probably his last major tournament as well. Dude's a beast, but yeah, I just don't think he has the minutes in him. Cavani's getting up there in age too. He's capable. He's a decent player. I think his bones are made out of glass. Every time I watch him play down there in South America, he's off the pitch in 25 minutes. He's too old. He doesn't have the physicality to bang bodies like that anymore.
He's in at Valencia now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He's got a couple of nice pens. I know he's been fun to live bet off the bench. But yeah, I think Nunes to score 2 goals at plus money is great. I think he could easily get that in the group stage if he's firing on all cylinders and he's playing most of the game as striker. I don't know what's going to happen with Portugal. This whole deal with Ronaldo is weird. He loves to rock up for Portugal. Especially considering I don't think he has a club to go back to. When I'm pretty sure Man U are suing him and they said you can't come back to the training grounds or anything like that. So I think he's going to want to stay in this tournament as long as possible because he has nothing to go back to right now. But I don't know how the rest of the squad's going to work with that. Like there are some videos of him with Bruno Fernandes where they look really cold to each other, which is just like strange. And I don't know, right now I think Man U play better without Ronaldo. I'm not going to say that it's going to be the same for Portugal because he is one of the best players in the world when he's actually firing on all cylinders. I just don't know what's gonna shake down. I'm pretty sold on Portugal and Uruguay coming out of this group, but I'm really interested to see exactly how that's going to happen.
Yeah, that head-to-head is going to be massive. In determining a lot because the runner-up will draw Brazil in the next round. So it's going to be you would think an early exit for one of these teams that probably has aspirations for a deep run. So JD, you got any looks in Group H you wanted to share?
I'm just going to go with chalk here, and I like Sam's take on the 2 goals for Darwin. I mean, he could get that in one game. The guy's been in tremendous form. He's going to be
55-1 for Golden Boot.
Yeah. You know what? If he was kicking the PKs, I would definitely be looking at that. I mean, obviously 55-1 is amazing, but I think since Luis Suarez is kicking the penalties, probably wouldn't be playing that market. But Darwin's just been a beast. His form is unbelievable. But I do see Portugal first and then Uruguay second. So nothing really different from what you guys said.
I like the number, like you guys are mentioning, on the Uruguayan guys are all like 40 or 50-1 type of range. But I think they're capped at 4 games. Like unless somehow they win the group over Portugal, like that draw against Brazil is a firm stopping point for one of these other teams. So you got to get it in 4 games probably, and because I think Brazil keep a clean sheet against. Like I said, I think their defense is so good and so stout. Like, and teams will be, they'll just be backed in deep defending. So counterattacking goals could always happen, but you're looking at trying to get it done in just the group stage potentially. But yeah, Portugal, like you mentioned, interesting with the Ronaldo conundrum. Like it's definitely his last World Cup too. Doesn't have a club to go back to, like you mentioned, Sam. Do they start him? He's the captain of the team. I think they do. He's just such a presence for them. He elevates his game in the Portugal. I know he's been kind of hurt in some of these major tournaments as well. So this is kind of potentially his sign off on the international stage. I don't know if Andre I don't think Andre Silva can start ahead of him. And maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but that's a bold ass call that I don't think is going to be made. But Leao on the left, Felix kind of in behind there potentially.
I actually sprinkled Leao to be Portugal's top scorer at 9-1.
9-1.
So, obviously we've got a bunch of stuff going on with Ronaldo. I think he has a fuck you game in him, at least one. He might have a fuck you run to the finals in this tournament.
Yeah.
It's Ronaldo. He's either going to be the best player on the pitch or he's not going to factor. There's not a huge in between for Ronaldo here, in my opinion. I think Leao's been playing great. I think he can both assist and score very well, as you've seen for AC Milan.
Hasn't in 11 caps hasn't scored for Portugal yet. So that's
he's also kind of just finding his form to be a star player towards the end of last year and this season. What he did here to start the season with AC Milan has kind of put him on a lot of bigger clubs with more money's transfer radar. I think it'll be tough to get him away from AC Milan. He's obviously having a breakout year. I mean, people have probably known about him for a little bit, but he's getting the results this year. And this could be a breakout tournament for him. This could be a tournament that goes from a $40-50 million transfer fee to he's $110 million fucking man. That's what performing well on the World Cup stage can do for you. And for $10 at 9-1 to return 100, I'm fine putting $10 on that.
Yeah, it's the Portuguese side. Like obviously Bruno starts, Bernardo Silva starts, and Leao probably is a bang on starter. Defense is kind of a question. I think Diogo Dalot is probably a nails on starter on the right wing. João Cancelo probably a nail on starter at the left wing, and then defense. I mean, are they going to play Pepe like at 39? I feel like
probably.
Yeah, probably.
They probably have to.
That's where I think Portugal can get got is in the middle of that defense. Pereira from PSG probably slots in next to him. Nuno Mendes is there too. They've got a lot of really good like wing backs. Even Guerrero from Dortmund.
Dortmund, yeah.
Yeah, but like, what do they? They don't have. It's just weird. They don't have a lot of size. So I guess he does probably start. Like Pepe is your only like kind of.
Pepe's a great look for a card too. Since we were talking about card markets earlier, that dude loves getting booked.
But it probably is Pereira and Pepe at the back, and then some form of. I just don't know what and how Portugal are going to attack this thing. Patricio has been pretty solid for Roma in net this year. I'm looking through everything, and there's so many great players in this team. You would think that they do advance through this group. But yeah, Uruguay just seemed like I almost kind of trust them just a smidge more with all the uncertainty around like the Ronaldo situation. I think Uruguay just have a very they know how they're going to play. They're rock solid at the back with Jimenez and Godin, and
Uruguay is a very quality club that I see. I would sprinkle them to a future on them.
Looks good too. Valverde and Bentancur and stuff like they just seem like a nice solid team. Ghana seem to always get out of the group for whatever reason, but I don't think that they're their team's quite as good. I know Inaki Williams getting added to this, it gives them a different dimension. Before we went live, we were talking about Thomas Partey in the middle of the park. This team will go as far as he can take them. He'll be the platform for everything they do good going forward. But I just think there's just not enough strength in this Ghanan side, and I don't see enough goals. As Williams is good, and the IUs are good. But yeah, to me, you got to go chalk in this group.
Yeah, I don't see Ghana putting enough in the back of the net. They can defend really well, but the problem is you have to score goals.
Yep.
Yep.
And funny matchup though. This was the famous handball incident from Suarez off the line against Ghana. So a little added drama here with these teams. But
also one of the smartest plays ever by Silva.
Yeah, that'll be the last group game, December 2nd. There in this one,
or Suarez, sorry.
Yeah, Suarez, the handball up the line. Crazy.
What do we think about Son scoring?
We just don't know.
What do you think about him playing? I think would be the better question.
Yeah.
I just saw something that he confirmed he's fit to play. So I don't know if that was
I hope so.
A rumor, but I could have sworn I saw that he confirmed he's fit to play. So
playing for South Korea is also a good look. I know he plays for Wolves, so he gets shuffled into the Wolves are very, very bad category, but Hwang is a very good player.
I thought we were talking about Son.
I was adding that Hwang should.
Well, Son could. I just think they're firmly the fourth best team in this group. So if he can score, and it's a little bit different. They could hit on a counter and stuff, and none of these teams. Yeah, what's his prices for goals? Does anybody have that in front of them? Let's see.
I got you guys in front of me.
Yeah, I'll pull up a player. And then to be their top scorer, if they're going to score, you would think he'll probably be him. It's plus 175 for him to be the top goal scorer. You may be better off just trying to bet him in games where you think he can score. I think the price might be at least plus 175 in any of these matches. They're going to have a tough go of things. I think.
I think we get
players.
I think we get nice odds on Son to score just because they probably don't expect that they're going to score many goals, if any. So, it's like that case in Champions League, and always in Champions League, one of my favorite angles is looking at goal prices on the underdogs because the books don't expect the team to score that many goals, if any goals. So that's why you can get nice prices like Orsic, 5-1 or something crazy like that.
Yeah, Son in the first match against Uruguay is plus 350 to score. And then they play Portugal after that, which I don't believe they have any prop lines up yet for those second round games. But yeah, if he's fit and firing, he just hasn't really been on form domestically. And then to come off a facial fracture, I'm not comfortable putting any money on him, but I can understand why people would. Just as the funnel for this team. A lot of these players are domestic league players for South Korea. They've got obviously some players that play in Serie A and Premier League and stuff. But yeah, I think they're firm. I think you could bet them to finish last in the group, which I think is a decent Group H bottom. It's plus 110 on South Korea to finish bottom. I think that's probably a decent bet. Well, we've gone a little long. We can kind of wrap things up, potentially just do a quick recap of everything. We'll talk about who we think is going to advance out of the groups, pick your winner, pick your runner-up, and that way if anybody that's made it this long that missed the first part gets the quick recap, and then we'll reconvene and see how wrong we were in 2 weeks. So back to Group A real quick. Netherlands, Senegal, Ecuador, and Qatar. I'm on Netherlands and Senegal in an exacta 1-2. Sam?
Yeah, agreed. Netherlands
Agreed.
and Senegal.
Folks?
I think that's probably who advanced. I don't think I'll have money on that exacta, but yeah, I
On the
think that's who
exacta.
advances.
Okay. JD?
Netherlands, Senegal.
Yep. All right. Group B, England, Iran, US, and Wales. I am going to back an exacta of England and US to make it from this group. And I'm going to play England to get 9 points from this group. Sam?
Yeah, I am pretty sold. Unfortunately, until proven otherwise, England coming first and Wales coming second. Love to be proven wrong, but that's what I think is going to happen.
Awesome. Oaks?
Yeah, I mean, England probably to advance. I don't mind taking 9 points here. I'm not going to play a future on this group. To me, this group comes down to United States versus Wales, and you're going to get better odds playing just that game than you will the whole thing. So I'll just play the game.
So yeah, that's US plus 150 on the money line. The draw is plus 190, and Wales is plus 220. And if depending on which way you go, if you think it's England USA, it's plus 200. If you think it's England Wales, it's plus 240. So you have a slight increased value if you want to pick one of those teams over the other to win. But yeah, it's tough. JD, this group B.
Yep, England, US. I'll
England,
probably
US.
sprinkle on Captain America to score a goal the US game just to make it fun. But yeah, England, US for me. And I like your point. All 9 points.
Yeah, all 9 points. Group C, Argentina, Mexico, Poland, and Saudi Arabia. I am going to take Argentina to top the group and Mexico to get second. I'm going to play that probably that straight at plus 170. Sam?
I am feeling Argentina and Poland on this one. Again, I'm gonna take them. Mexico have to prove me otherwise. It's kind of the same way with the US.
Mm-hmm. You're fading CONCACAF in all these things. I like it.
Not Canada.
He's all
No,
over
not Canada.
Canada.
That's right. All right, sneak peek. Oaks, Group C.
I think Argentina definitely advances. One prop I like is probably going to be Chucky Lozano to be the top goal scorer from Mexico. I'll be interested to see this Mexico-Poland matchup. I don't know. I don't know who comes out. I don't really care, to be honest with you. I don't see either team making a deep run, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Okay. JD?
Argentina, Mexico.
Argentina, Mexico. Cool. Group D. This is France, Denmark, Tunisia, and Australia. I am on a France, Denmark 1-2 exacta. That is going to be minus 105. Not the tastiest, but
Gross.
that's the way I'm going to play it. Sam?
I agree with the placement. I hate the value.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any way Australia or Tunisia come out of this group. I like a lot of stuff for Australia. I'll probably be watching their games, when I can. I like Jamie McLaren. I like some of the stuff they do. But Denmark is far and away the second best team here. I'll look at Ericsson props. I'll look at Demsgaard props. But yeah, I've France, Denmark for me for sure.
Cool. JD?
Yep, same as you guys.
Sweet.
Matt.
Group E. This one's probably the most hotly contested here. And we've got Germany, Spain, Japan, and Costa Rica. I'm not sure which way it's going to shake out. I do like both Spain and Germany to get out of the group. But how I'm going to attack this, I'm not quite sure. There's no value in taking both of them at minus $4 to advance. So personally, I will not have a wager on this group future, but I would say Germany I'm willing to take a stab at them to win the group at plus 115 if I were to make a bet. Sam?
I am pretty sold on Germany coming top of the group. I think Spain have the quality to come second. I do think Japan has the possibility to upset. They were sort of on my upset shortlist. I just think it's kind of hard to look past Spain. Love it if they get knocked out. I'm a big fan of fun upsets, but Germany first, Spain second is what I'm imagining it will shake out to be, all said and done.
Folks?
I like Germany to top the group. I like Germany for a future. I like Japan to come out of this group. Yeah.
Nice.
Costa Rica is a tough team too. So, I mean, I don't think people should overlook Costa Rica. They have a lot of talent. They got a lot of youth that's playing well and has played well on a big stage. There's not a cakewalk game in this group. It's going to be a dogfight, and I think Japan definitely has the talent to come out of this group.
Nice. Yeah, that Japan to advance, if you want to play that straight, is plus 300. If you like Oaks's prediction for the group of Germany to top and Japan to also make it out, that is a prop that can be had as an exacta at 10 to 1. So nice value there. JD?
Germany then Spain, keeping it simple.
Yeah. Group F, Belgium, Croatia, Canada, and Morocco. Another one where there is some differing of opinions. I think we all thought Belgium would top the group. They are a minus 120 to win. Not the best value, but I think it's a relatively, in terms of straightforward bets, I think this is the one that to me makes the most sense. And would I be surprised if any of these other three teams break through? No, but I will go ahead and back Croatia and their experience. I'm going to say a Belgium, Croatia, exacta 1-2 plus 175 is going to be my best bet out of that. Sam?
I think as a straight bet, Canada to make it out of the groups is a lot of fun. A big fan of the value on that at almost 3 to 1. I think it is. I think it's going to shake down Belgium first, Canada second. I'll be sad if Croatia come out because I think that's really boring. But they do have the experience, and it's really hard to look past that in big tournaments like this. I just don't think. I think they've gone too past the. I think there's a point where they're experienced, and there's a point where you're just really old, and I think they're getting into that really old line.
Fair enough. So that exacta that you kind of hinted at there, maybe not said that you loved, but Belgium first, Canada second is 7 to 1. Canada just to make it out of the group can be had at plus 280. Oaks, what do you think on this one?
Yeah, I'd take Canada to make it out of groups. I don't think Belgium's a lock here for this top spot. They do give up a lot of goals. Obviously, the most recent matches I've seen haven't always been with Courtois in net. I am a big fan of his. Their defense is suspect, though, and they can be gotten, especially on the counterattack. I think that's dangerous when you play a team like Canada, who has just unlimited legs, speed, and talent, especially finishing in and around the box. Canada, I think, is coming out of this group. I like Belgium as well. I think this is going to be one of the toughest groups to get out of. Morocco's absolutely no slouch. I took Bats to be leading goal scorer for Belgium because I just don't think Lukaku is going to play enough matches. I don't know if he even plays in groups. They might try and hold him out until the round of 16, pending on how their first two results come out. So yeah, I like Bats at plus 450 to be top goal scorer for Belgium. I love the look on Jonathan David to score one or more goal at plus money. I think that's awesome. I think Canada have a ton of firepower, a bunch of good player props to look at. And yeah, this group is going to be a dogfight. So I'm not comfortable cementing in anything except for Canada to advance at plus 280.
Sweet. and I think JD might have had to drop out. So we'll move on to Group G here. This is Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. I am going to back. Gosh, you can't even take Brazil to win the group really here at minus 280. I guess you could lay it if you really want to drop 280 here to get paid in 2 weeks. I mean, there's probably value there. It's not the sexiest pick in the world to give out a minus 280, but it would take some serious, crazy things happening for them to not win this group. So if you're willing to invest a little bit, Brazil to top the group at minus 280 is a strong bet. You could also play them to take 9 points to get a little more closer to. Well, it actually takes you into plus money at plus 190 for Brazil to take all three or to win all 3 matches. That is plus 190. I may talk myself into grabbing that as well. I think that's a decent bet. Gun to my head, I will say that Switzerland make it out of the group with Brazil, but it wouldn't surprise me if Serbia or Cameroon do either. So, Sam, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I don't think there's any value in Brazil winning the group. I mean, they probably will, but just can't from a value perspective. I couldn't do anything on that. The 9 points angle is a nice angle. I think Brazil will come first, and then who's in this group? This is Switzerland and Serbia, right? I think I had
Switzerland,
I got
Serbia,
I see Serbia coming second here.
Folks?
Yeah, I like Serbia. Everybody's playing for second. It's Brazil's group to lose. I like Serbia. Again, dogfight. Cameroon, Switzerland, both quality teams that can make some runs here. So yeah, I just like Serbia. I think they have a lot of offensive firepower. I think they play good football. I know they can be had at the back a little bit, but I think they can possess the football pretty well against Cameroon and Switzerland. I think they end up. I think I tend to back the teams that I think have the highest potential to score goals, and Serbia definitely is the second highest potential for goal scorers, in my opinion.
Yeah, they play on match day 3 in this group, so they'd probably come down to that match to see who advances through. So, and then finally, where we can wrap it up, Uruguay, Portugal, Ghana, and South Korea. I'm not terribly confident on one team finishing first or second. I am pretty confident that it is going to be Portugal and Uruguay. I'm comfortable laying minus 155 here for those two to advance to the next round. Sam, what do you like in this one?
Yeah, I think it's going to be those 2 teams that come first. I'm pretty sure that Portugal will end up topping the group. Again, love to be proven wrong. If Uruguay can avoid that Brazil matchup and come first, I think it's great. But I think we're looking at Portugal coming first and Uruguay coming second here.
Yeah. Oaks?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna take Nunez for the Golden Boot, and yeah, I mean Uruguay. I like as a dark horse. I think they could win the whole thing.
All right, cool. And then I guess last thing is we can give our pick to win and our Golden Boot pick. So I'm extremely chalky on this one. I like Brazil to win the World Cup, and I like Harry Kane to win the Golden Boot. Sam, your picks for those 2 markets?
Yeah, I think I've shifted. I think I've changed my mind on who's gonna win. I think there's nice value on Germany. I think Germany to win at anything at 10-1 or above it, I think is great for a team that just looks fantastic. And for my my long shot Golden Boot, I'm all over Gnabry. I've been all over Gnabry the whole stream.
All right, cool. Oaks?
I got Nunez for Golden Boot so far. I'll probably have a couple others. I have my 3 favorite teams that I think have value are Germany, Uruguay, and Canada.
Cool. All right. Well, that's probably a great stopping point. We're going to be dropping some other things in our World Cup channel on the Discord. Kind of be the place where you can look and find everybody's picks, kind of your one-stop shop. Obviously, we'll have our stuff in our channels and plays posted and articles written and stuff like that elsewhere, but try to make it as streamlined as possible. If you have any questions, feel free to DM us. Our boxes are always open. We'll try to get to your questions. And we'll have plays released pre-match when we do have lineups for certain games. But hopefully we provided some value and some insight going forward. Any parting words, guys?
I'd love to wrap it up. I was cooking a lot of fun group stage stuff. I'd love to sell you on a little parlay, which I think could be fun.
Okay.
And I'll run through it really quickly. Netherlands to top the group, England to top the group, Argentina to top the group, France and Denmark to qualify, Spain and Germany to qualify, Belgium to qualify, Brazil to top the group, and Portugal and Uruguay to top the group. You get it at just over 10-1. I think it's a lot of fun.
That's juicy. I do like that. Send me that. I'm going to probably tail that one.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll send you that one.
And
apart from that,
I thought you were going to say it's coming home. Here's your last chance. Get it on tape.
I am as someone who supports England and supports Arsenal, you will never catch me ever having any confidence ever until I think the final whistle blows in the final and we have already won. I just don't want to give anyone that clip of me saying that, you know, England's going to win the World Cup or Arsenal's going to win the league, because I know it's going to get hit back at me. So I'm not going to say it, but fingers crossed, we all know that I'm hoping for it.
Yeah, as an Arsenal supporting England fan, it's almost going to be bittersweet when Harry Kane's the one that's going to have to lift the trophy. You're like, ugh.
I don't care. Kane for England, wonderful, best striker alive. Kane for Spurs, horrible person.
Well, he doesn't have much practice lifting a trophy, so hopefully he doesn't drop it if they get there.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to a great tournament. You know, fuck Qatar, fuck this whole tournament being in the middle of the year. It sucks for the players. It'll be very entertaining for us as handicappers and people who like to talk soccer. But yeah, I mean, just fuck FIFA in general for just putting this together. Super last minute, being total dog shit and giving us a very low quality product. The only redeeming factor is there's no way the US can fuck this up and fumble the bag worse than Qatar did. So they're making us look fucking great for the next World Cup.
Yep. All right. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. We were brought to you by Pickett. So you can definitely track your World Cup bets, kind of see how you did. Hopefully we'll make it a profitable World Cup for you. And yeah, join the Gold Boys Discord. We will have all of our plays in there and track along. I think we're going to make a lot of money. It's an interesting World Cup, but definitely value to be had. So thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you guys later.